The Thunder are forced into an impossible decision regarding Ousmane Dieng and his future in Oklahoma City, as there is a certain role player on the market now that is trying to go to a contender and not be on the Brooklyn Nets anymore, which opens up the path where an Ousmane Dieng trade, and I know we talked about it on the channel quite a bit last season. I know a lot of people are now on the train where Ousmane Dieng is going to be traded away. There's not really a place or future for him in Oklahoma City anymore, as he hasn't progressed at the way other players on the team have either. The team is just simply too good for him to ever get time for the Thunder. So people are saying it's best for him for his career as well to be traded, and I agree as well that it's best for his career to be traded to a rebuilding team, which opens up a path where Ousmane Dieng can be traded to the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to break down why I think this is definitely possible and why it could be something Sam Presti has to look at. And it really is an impossible decision because it comes down to, do you want, team chemistry to remain where it's at and keep the same team, or do you want to take a chance and try to get more depth and become a better team? We're going to break all that down today here on Thunder Digest. Before we get into all that though, quick moment to recognize that we are at 6,256 subscribers on the channel. Thank you guys for the constant support that you guys are always showing us here at Thunder Digest. I want to try to hit 7K. That's my personal goal for the channel before we start the regular season. I know we can hit that. That's almost 700 subs away from that goal. So if you guys want to support the channel and you don't know how, the best way to do so is simply by hitting that subscribe button. It also helps get my videos in your feed some more as well. Along with hitting that bell notification, allows you to stay up to date on all your Oklahoma City Thunder news as the 2025 NBA champs try to go back to back. Now let's go ahead and get into talking about today's topic for this video, Ousmane Dieng, his future in Oklahoma City. It's really cloudy and murky. It is, all right? It is really cloudy and murky when you look at everything going on with him in Oklahoma City. It's just one of those things, you look at it, there's not really a spot for him on the team. That's how it is. There isn't. All right. It's very hard to kind of dignify him getting time over some other players like the AJ Mitchells, like the, other role players, even like Brooks Barnheiser. That's a guy that's going to have to be fighting for some time on this team, I feel like. So it's just tough for him to actually compete. Jay Will is another guy he has to compete with that I don't think he's better than right now. So it just might be best for him and his career to be traded to a different team. Ivan White also talked about it a little bit over at Thunder on SI, and we'll go ahead and take a look at what he said in his article about his future in Oklahoma City. At 6'10", Dieng's ability to handle the ball and create offensively give the Thunder a unique combination of size and skill set. If he can at least contribute in some capacity next season and finally show he can be physical enough to survive at the NBA level, there's a possibility for him to save his career, whether in Oklahoma City or elsewhere. In terms of sticking with the Thunder, it could be a matter of convenience for Sam Presti and company, with the potential for a myriad of moving parts. Next summer, the Thunder could find some comfort in keeping Dieng around, especially considering the French forward won't command a large payday regardless of his performance next season. And he has a great point right there, all right? If you want to try to keep cheap guys on this team who could be role players that can potentially contribute in the future, Ousmane Dieng is a great player to have around. He has the skill set, athleticism, and size to be a really solid player in the NBA at the professional level. He does. The question is that ever really going to be realized in Oklahoma City? That's the biggest question mark that we've had now for what feels like, this whole time since he's been with the Thunder. He spends a lot of time with the G League, and now he can't do that anymore. He has to spend all of his time at the NBA level. He absolutely has to. He can't spend any more time in the G League, all right? That's not possible for him whatsoever. So now it comes down to how much time can he get with his squad? He has to try to prove something in the preseason right there to dignify why he should be getting 10 to 12 minutes a night with the Thunder come regular season. And I don't know if he can do enough to prove that. I just don't think so. As my cat tries to come say hi in this video here. Sorry about that, guys. But like I said, it's one of those things. I look at it, I just don't see a world where he really does work out in Oklahoma City. I wish he would, all right? Because I'm a big believer in Dieng being able to be a really solid player in the NBA. I just don't think it's with the Thunder. I just don't think he's ever going to have that opportunity, which then, proposes this idea of trading him for someone that the Nets want to send to a contender, which was recently reported by the New York Times. All right, Haywood Highsmith is expected to be traded to a contender by the trade deadline per New York Post. Lewis, it's also almost impossible to see a world where he's in Brooklyn past the trade deadline, much less next summer. Some contender will surely be looking to add in February. A wing defender on a $5.6 million expiring deal could look pretty good. It's cheaper than Ousmane Dieng's contract, and you don't really have to worry about matching anything. It's almost the same. Dieng is making $1 million more. He's also a young forward, super tall. Brooklyn's building up a ton of guards right now, trying to see if they can find one that can stick and pan out for them on the squad. Getting a 6'10 forward like Dieng could be the move in Brooklyn to see if he can develop into a full-time starter for them. And Brooklyn might be a good place for him to go to. It might be a really good place to go to. And I'm not the only one that thinks about this in the Thunder space when it comes to creating content and covering this team, all right? There are other guys that have thought of this as well. Alex Roig, all right? He's also thought about it. Ousmane Dieng, you're a Brooklyn Net. I can absolutely see that. I can see this happening right here. I truly can. And we can take a look at Highsmith's stats as well to try to back up this case, okay? I know the points per game, the counting stats don't look very flashy. I know they don't whatsoever. 24.6 minutes per game last year, 6.5 points, 3.4 rebounds, 1.5 assists. Then you look at the defense, and he is a good wing defender. He is 0.9 steals per game, 0.5 blocks. He's a good defender, 6'7", good size to him as well, coming off the bench. It's not someone that's going to start. Having some depth right there, God forbid someone gets injured. Let's say Alex Caruso goes down with an injury, all right? Who's the guy coming in to be the backup defender? If you don't trust Brooks Barnhizer coming in and being this defender at such a high level early in his career, Haywood Highsmith would be the best available option after that. And I'll take his steal per game, his good defense as well. I will. 6'7", 28 years old. Like he is a solid defender right there. Doesn't turn over a ton either. Shoots it quite well. 45% from the field, 38% from three, 43% on corner threes. Majority of his shots are three-pointers as well. So the fact he's shooting 38% from three and over half his shots are three-pointers, that's a good sign. I'll take that. Compared to Ousmane Dieng's stats where he's averaging 3 points per game right now and he's barely playing, like I'll gladly take that. All right. I think that would be a great move for the Thunder. And I already figured out a trade that I think would work out pretty well. This would be a trade that we could potentially see in this scenario. Haywood Highsmith to the Thunder, Ousmane Dieng, and a second-round pick in 2027 going to the Brooklyn Nets. Like Haywood Highsmith is not commanding a first-round pick. Let's be honest. This is not a Cameron Johnson situation. All right, Highsmith is commanding a second-round pick at best, maybe not even a pick. Okay, so I look at it and I'm like, yeah, like I could definitely see this happening. I can definitely see this happening. This is a possibility for sure, and I wouldn't mind it whatsoever. I wouldn't. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do regarding Ousmane Dieng in the future this upcoming season. If Highsmith it really is trying to go to a contender, and let's say he takes a step, all right? Let's say he turns back the clock a little bit, and he's averaging 10 points and 1.5 steals per game with the Nets. I would gladly try to trade for that. I would. That package right there gets you Highsmith if he's putting up those kinds of numbers. I would gladly try to make that move to make this team better and give us some depth. I would, but I also get the standpoint of where people would come from of, okay, even if Ousmane Dieng doesn't perform well, his extension's not going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost, maybe the same amount that he's making right now, if we're being honest. Okay, so it's a cheap guy that you can also still put some time into. So I get both sides of the argument. Keep Ousmane Dieng, trade him. I get him. I'm more on the option of trading him right now, especially if you can get some value in return like Highsmith. It makes sense to me. But that's all I got for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys personally want to do with Ousmane Dieng. Do you want to trade him off, or do you want to keep him here and extend him to keep him on the team for the future? I'll see you guys in the next one.